are going to talk about the circulatory systems, internal transport in our body. And I will begin with some definitions, okay? As we know, in our body, our cells need some nutrients, need oxygen, and also they need to remove the waste products. And for that, the circulatory system is really, really important, okay? Cells require a continuous supply of nutrients and oxygen, and also require removal of waste products. In very small animals and in unicellular organisms, materials are changed by diffusion. If they are too small and unicellular, the material will change by diffusion. Okay, as you know, in diffusion, the net movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to the region of the lower concentration. And interstitial fluid between the cells, the fluid which is included between the cells we call interstitial fluid, provide a medium for diffusion of oxygen, nutrients, and waste. Circulatory systems, by the time evolution of specialized circulatory systems allow animals and plants to increase in size, okay? With our circulatory system, the cells of animals and plants, they can grow, they can increase in the size because diffusion wouldn't be enough to provide nutrients and to remove the waste product. They transport oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients, hormones, and other materials to the interstitial fluid surrounding the cells and remove metabolic waste. In this diagram, as I put here, we will discuss about the body fluids later in some lectures, but as you see here, I may take, okay, let's say here, spotlight, okay, or, okay, as you see here, we have cells, okay, and between the fluid between the cells, we call extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid, okay? All the nutrients, oxygen carried by these fluids, and the cells take the nutrients, the oxygen from interstitial fluid when they need. They also excrete the waste product to the interstitial fluid, okay? The fluid which is in our vessels, okay, is intravascular fluid we call, or extracellular fluid, okay? And the fluid in the cells we call intracellular fluids, okay? These definitions are important to understand these lectures and the lecture beyond these ones. Okay. Okay, now close this one. Or it is, let's take again. Okay. Okay, now let's go forward. The type of circulatory systems in animals are non-circulatory systems. Some living beings have no circulatory systems. or they have open circulatory systems or closed circulatory systems. Now I am going to explain what they are means for us and what should we take away from these lectures, okay? Not as you see in sponges, in Canadarians, or in flatworms, there is no circulatory systems, okay? Nutrient and waste are able to diffuse due to small size. In open circulatory systems, such as in the arthropods, in mollusks, the circulation loop is not complete or closed, as we see here. And a tubular shaped heart pump, as we see here, and also here, the pumps hemolymph. Hemolymph, that means blood and interstitial fluid is mixed, okay? Hemolymph through vessels into open reservoir called sinuses, okay? Here we have, I may show you later in the another slides, okay? And keep in mind a tubular shape heart that pumps hemolymph, which is blood mixed with interstitial fluid, okay, and through the vessels into reservoir called sinuses, okay. All sinuses together, they make hemocell, okay. In the open circulatory system, we have sinuses, and all sinuses, they make hemocell, which is a circulatory system for arthropods and mollusks, okay? And in these, in these animals, the fluid which is circulated, we call hemolymph, because both blood and interstitial fluid is mixed. Okay, tissue, as you see here, tissue bed in the hemolymph, allowing diffusion of materials to happen between hemolymph and cells. Okay, on the other hand, in the closed circulatory systems, okay, and note body cells are not in direct contact with the blood, okay? Blood is circulated in a closed systems. And the heart pump the blood into the closed continuous systems, as you see here, in the blood vessels, okay? And the vessels of the smallest blood vessels, as you see, these vessels somewhere they get smallest, and the wall of the walls get thin, okay, such as thin as a layer of one cells, and which we call capillary, okay. The smallest blood vessels, okay, which are thin enough to permit diffusion of gases, nutrients, between blood in the vessels and interstitial tissues, okay? Cells is circulated in the closed systems once they reach to the capillary levels, which is tiny and smallest vessels, and these the wall of the capillary vessels is allow diffusion between vessels and interstitial spaces, and the cells close to the capillary vessels, they take nutrients they need. Also, they remove the waste they want to have anymore. Okay, here you can compare open circulatory system with the closed circulatory systems. Okay, as I said, in the open circulatory system, the cells exposed to the blood, and blood is mixed with the interstitial fluid, which we call hemolymph. Okay, on the closed circulatory systems, blood is not contact in the cells, is circulated in a closed circulatory systems once only at the level of the capillary, which we have tiny vessels, smallest vessels, and then the exchange of the nutrients and waste take place at these part of the vessels. Okay. 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 The vertebrate circulatory system is a complicated and higher level of systems, consists of heart, blood vessels, blood, lymph vessels, and associated organs such as thymus, spleen, and liver. We will talk about blood vessels, lymph, and lymph vessels, and about heart, how they functioning just in a few minutes. Okay. Okay. The function of the internal transport of or the function of the circulatory system is really important, because circulatory system in our body, in animals, in other living beings, they transport nutrients from digestive system to the storage or to the cells. Okay, they transport oxygen, they remove the metabolic waste, they also transport hormone, and they maintain our fluid balance. Is really important, and also they help to maintain the body temperature, and also they maintain appropriate pH. Okay, as you know, the pH in our body is really crucial to maintain in a certain range. Okay, very tiny range is between 7.35 and 7.45. It is about, I mean, the circulatory system also helps to maintain this pH. Okay. Also, circulatory systems, especially blood, defends the body against the invading microorganism. This was the function of the circulatory systems. Okay, circulatory systems. I mean, in the larger animals, they require a circulatory system to efficiently distribute materials. Okay, circulatory system in the vertebrate, in animals, okay, is typically consists 3 parts, which is blood, heart, and blood vessels. Okay, we will talk about blood, which is a connective tissue, consists of the cells, cell fragments, which are disappeared in a fluid. This fluid we call plasma. Okay, and we know that pumping organ is heart, which pump blood into our entire body. Okay, blood vessels which circulate blood. Okay, the 2 main types of circulatory systems are open and closed systems, as I said before. Okay, why did the vertebrate cardiovascular systems evolve by the time? Okay, I mean, it is really important because to maintain, to stay alive, okay, they maintain their life, they need to evolve the circulatory system by the time. Larger animals, they require more efficient system in order to get nutrients and to excrete the waste product, okay? The site of gas change shift from gills to the lungs, okay? And then once you get oxygen through your lungs, it should transport to the cells. For that, we need circulatory systems. And also some vertebrate become active endodermic animals with a higher metabolic activity, and therefore they need circulatory system. Now, I have here a question for you, okay? You can text me, okay? First text Bahatin Adam 130 to this number 2233, and then give the answers. You have 1 minute, okay? Use your cell phone and then text me your answers, okay? Which of the following component is not included in the vertebrate circulatory systems? Keep in mind the vertebrate circulatory system is a higher system, okay? Is a closed system, okay? Now I'm waiting for your response, okay? You can text your response by text message. Still no response. I am waiting. Okay. 3.
Hold on.
Okay. I will show you the correct answer once you're ready. Okay, 4. I have another question in these lectures, okay? They are really important. You may see a similar question in quizzes in exams, okay?
Do we get points for these?
I mean, not for these, but these are exercise for you guys for coming exam and quizzes, okay? Because I am trying to help you to understand how my questions look like, okay? They shouldn't be almost the same, but be sure that I am going to ask similar questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now see the correct answer. You see, okay? Here the correct answer is D. Hemocoel. Hemocoel is the circulatory system in the in the arthropod, in the muscle, in the, okay, and not in the vertebrates, okay? Good. Now let's go forward. We have another questions. Okay. Now I am going to talk about the vertebrate cardiovascular systems. There are some different type of cardiovascular systems in the vertebrate. In these tables, you see in some animals, and they have only one atria, one ventricle, okay, and but in mammals we have two atrium and two ventricles. I will talk about them, okay? Let's see here. In the fish, as you see, this is a, it includes only single circuit, one atrium, okay, here, and one ventricle, and here in the fish, oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are not separated. And therefore, this type of circulatory system is inefficient. On the other hand, as you see here, I may remove this somewhere. Okay, if I close them, how about, no, okay. Here, as you see, we have double circuit system, two atria, two atrium, and oxygen-rich blood partly separated from the oxygenate blood, because it has two atriums, one ventricles, okay, and when from body they bring the oxygenated blood from the body into the right atrium, and then this blood is going to get into ventricle, from ventricle to the left atrium, and one from the ventricle to the lung, one oxygenated, the oxygenated blood will come back through the pulmonary vein into the left atrium, and then is circulated to the body and transfer oxygenated blood, okay? Here we have two atria and one ventricle, oxygen-rich blood partly separated from oxygen-poor blood, and this system is still less inefficient, okay? And here, as you see in the reptile, we have also two atria and one ventricle, okay? But here, only something is different from the previous animals, because the ventricle is partially separated, and therefore oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are mostly separated, and this circulatory system is more efficient than the previous one. Okay. Finally, the high structure we have in blood, in bird, in mammals, in animals, in the humans, as you see, the circulatory systems in mammals has true four-chamber heart for double circulation, okay, two atrium, two ventricles, okay, and oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are completely separated, and therefore this circulatory system is most efficient when we compare with the previous one, circulatory systems, okay? And therefore, this circulatory system maintains high blood pressure in the systemic circulation and deliver materials more rapidly and efficient, okay? We will talk about the direction of circulation later. It is also important, okay? In summary of the different circulatory systems, we have mixing circulatory systems, okay? And which is a gill capillaries in some fish, okay? One atrium, one ventricles, and we have less mixing circulatory systems because it's included lung capillaries here, which is in reptile or in amphibians, two atrium, okay, and one ventricles, but in some animals, the ventricle is partially separated. And finally, we have non-mixing circulatory systems. It has two atrium and two atria and two ventricles, okay? Now, the second question is here. The open circulatory system usually consists of which of the following components? Okay, open circulatory systems, okay? Keep in mind we have open circulatory system, which is simple circulatory system. We have closed circulatory system. Okay, now I am waiting for your response. One minute. Okay, let's see what is the correct answer. Okay, show the response. Okay. The open circulatory system usually consists of blood, arteries, veins, hemocell. Okay, which is the correct answer?
E.
I mean, pumping organs. Okay, artery, veins. Okay, it should be hemocells. Okay. Okay. These hemocells we see in the open circulatory systems. Okay, not in the closed circulatory systems. Okay, we also see blood or some kind of pumping organ in the open circulatory systems, but hemocoel is distinct for open circulatory systems. Okay, good. Good. Now, you may pay attention when I am lecturing, which help you to answer this question. I have here another question for you guys, okay? The type of the system depicted in the accompanying figure is which type of the circulatory system as you see in these pictures? Vertebrate circulatory system, open circulatory systems, closed circulatory systems, okay? Open digestive systems of lymph systems. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, let's see the answers that you gave. Okay, the closed circulatory systems, the most answered option, okay? Okay, 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 okay. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Good. Okay. Another questions. A vertebrate circulatory system would include open blood vessels, hemolymph, closed blood vessels, hemocell, okay, and hemocyanin. Okay, which is the correct answer for that? Okay, okay, let's see. Correct, yes. The closed blood vessels is distinct for the vertebrate circulatory systems. Okay, good. Now let's go forward. Oh, what happens? Okay, now still we have some time. I am going to uh, forward and talk about a few slides, and then give you a time for question if we have in for a few minutes. Okay. Now let's talk about the composition of the blood. Okay. We know that in adult humans have 5 liters of blood. It is between 3 and 5 liters. It depends of the size and age of the bodies. Okay. It is constantly being replenished, circulating through the vessels to deliver and collect and critical molecules and the component of blood, it means the plasma is one of the component of the blood. As you see in these test tubes, we have plasma, of which is the fluid in which blood cells are suspended. Okay, about 55–60% of the blood is plasma. It contains dissolved ions, molecules, proteins. Okay, other um, component in our circulatory system is lymph. Lymph is also a kind of plasma that has leaked from the blood vessels into surrounding tissues. It's circulated separately from the blood. We also will talk about that, okay? And the other composition of blood is the cellular component, as we see here, white blood cells, okay, a small portion, and high portion of the cellular component is red blood cells, okay? We have red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets as a cellular component in our bloods, okay? Composition of vertebrate bloods in high organism, as we know, okay, here, blood consists of plasma and cellular component. Two main parts of the blood are plasma and cellular component, and plasma consists of plasma proteins and waters, what salt and dissolved gases, hormones, glucose, waste, they are dissolved in water, okay, in the plasma. And plasma proteins are many, okay, lipoproteins, albumin, globulins, fibrinogen, clotting proteins, they are all in our plasma and as a plasma proteins. Okay. Cell component of our blood are white blood cells, okay, and red blood cells, which are big portion of the cellular components, and platelets, okay. Three main type of cells in our blood are white cells, red cells, and platelets, okay. And also white cells, there are different type of white cells, okay. We first divided them granular leukocytes and agranular leukocytes, and there are neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, monocytes, and lymphocytes in our blood. As you see, the composition of blood in our humans, in animals, okay. The first, the main cells, okay, the ancestor cells in our blood is a stem cells, okay, which located in our bone marrow, okay, undifferentiated polypotent stem cells. All the rest of the cells, they come from stem cells, okay. These cells will differentiate to lymphoid stem cells, myeloid stem cells, and megakaryocytes in our bone marrow, and then continue to differentiate megakaryocytes, granulocytes, other different, and finally they move to in our circulation as a platelets, as you see here, the granulocyte, white blood cells, red blood cells, okay, and lymphocyte. These are the type of the cells which circulated in our bloods. Okay. Red blood cells, as I said, the huge portion of cell component in our blood, okay. We also call erythrocytes, okay. They're highly specialized for transporting of oxygen, okay. You may need to memory the name of the main cells, okay. Red blood cells, white blood cells, and the type of white blood cells, and their function, okay. Erythrocytes' main function is to transport oxygen from lung to our cells of body, okay. They produce in bone marrow, okay, and they contain hemoglobin. As you know, hemoglobin is a transport protein for oxygen, okay. In mammals, red blood cells is ejected, okay. The nucleus is ejected. There is no nucleus in the mature erythrocytes, and they are flexible and biconcave disc, as you see in these pictures. Okay. On the other hand, the white blood cells, or leukocytes, the other name of white blood cells, they defend the body against harmful bacteria and other organisms, okay? And they are capable of independent movement. Some slip through the walls, as you see. They slip through the blood vessels and enter in the tissue if needed, okay? When some organism invade in our tissue, these cells, which slip through the walls, they will enter the endothelial cells, our vessels, and come into the tissue and fight with bacteria with the bacterial infections. Okay, there are 5 types of the white blood cells. Okay, and these are neutrophil, okay, monocytes, basophil, lymphocyte, and eosinophils. Okay, and there are different function. I will tell you in just in two slides, and then we will finish. Okay, platelets. In mammals we have platelets. They are here as you see, as smallest, okay, structure, okay, the pinky structure here. The tiny fragments of cytoplasm pinched off large cells in the bone marrow, okay. When a blood vessel is cut, platelets stick to the rough, the cut edge and release clotting factors to stop the loss of blood, okay. Bleeding, to stop the bleeding, we need platelets, okay, and because they will accumulate it at the location of cutting, and then release some clotting factors and stop to the loss of the blood. Okay. Now let's talk about the function of the white blood cells, and then we will finish with these slides. Okay, as I said, we have different kind of white blood cells. Here in these tables, you see red blood cells, okay, a huge amount of red blood cells, about 4.5, 5.5 million in microliters. We have platelets, okay, and we have blood cells, about 5 to 10,000 in microliters. And these are neutrophils, okay, and their main function is phagocytosis, okay. They fight with the bacteria and prevent our body to affect it from the bacteria and other microorganisms. And we have eosinophils, okay. The main role of the eosinophil in the allergic response, the amount of the eosinophils increases, okay. And we have basophils, okay, here. Basophils may play a role in prevention or clotting. Okay. Also, they release histamine, which is important in inflammatory response, okay. In inflammation, at the beginning of the inflammation, the histamine should be released in order to invite other cells to fight with the microorganism, okay. Eosinophils is related to allergic response. Basophil is related to histamines, okay. Lymphocytes, they produce antibodies and destroy foreign cells. And we have monocytes, okay, and they can differentiate and become a macrophage or dendritic cells. They also will fight with the microorganisms, especially with bacteria. Okay, let's stop here for today's lectures.